We're going to talk a little bit about taxes today with Dan Jones of Jones Accounting Services. We appreciate your time. Usually we don't see you until 2011 and as we go forward the beginning of the year. But at the end of the year, there's a couple things that people need to know as they wrap up 2010. We'll get to those in a couple minutes. But first, one thing that's starting to make some headlines, and maybe you can explain it to us a little bit more. Rapid refunds and rapid advances of cash when it comes to trying to get your refund, they're going away. What's going on there?
What's happening with those is usually the IRS would send us back as preparers and to the banks that we would deal with an indicator that lets us know there's no federal or state debt. Nobody owes child support, student loans.
For that individual filer.
For that individual filer. And what the IRS has done is they've eliminated that. So they're not going to be sending us back that code. And because they're not sending us back that code, the banks are going to be very, very strenuous with their lending. And what they basically told us as preparers, the banks did, was that as these products become more and more
strenuous,
it's going to be tough to get the financing for them.
Okay.
Because those things are going to go by the wayside.
Okay.
The finance fees would get too high. People wouldn't be able to afford the product.
Okay.
And so a lot of the banks have pulled out.
Okay, so but that's a program that a lot of people utilize as they go forward. They want to try to get that refund as quickly as possible, and that goes away. So as a preparer now, do you have to kind of explain to people that it's a different game coming up this year?
We have the same products, the other products available. There will still be places around. I know through my agency we do have a product that we can still withhold the preparation fees from. Just you're not going to get your refund in the 1 to 2 days that some people were typically trying to get these fast cash loans for their tax preps.
Okay.
And basically it's going to keep your costs down too in the end.
Which is a good thing, so people will have to just watch when they get their money. That's just one of a number of changes that we have coming up this year.
Correct.
The next year, rather. There are some changes when it comes to itemizing, and people now cannot file until February. What are the different stipulations for next year?
Well, just last week on the 17th of December when President Obama signed the new tax relief legislation in, which basically extended the Bush-era tax cuts. When he signed those into effect, basically our software companies, they don't have the software ready for us to file yet with the itemized tax returns.
Okay.
Plus, there's some changes. If you remember last year, if you were a short form filer and you owned a home, you're able to add your real estate tax to your standard deduction. That's gone away this year.
Okay.
So we weren't sure, and the preparation companies that prepare the software weren't sure what cuts were going to come into play and which ones weren't going to come into play. And so now they've got to get the software available to us. And not only us, but the IRS also has to get their software available also. So the IRS has told us it's going to take up to February before they can get their software available for the itemized taxpayer. So someone who's going to file long forms probably going to have to wait till February till IRS gets their systems ready to receive the forms before we can actually start filing those returns.
So does that mean you could possibly see the deadline be pushed back at all, or you think they're going to stand pretty firm on that?
Well, April 15th, we were already communicated last year that this year was going to extend out till April 18th.
Okay.
So for the last-minute filers who are thinking they have till April 15th, which actually falls on a Friday this year, they actually will have till Monday the 18th to file.
Okay, and just as you're cleaning up 2010 and you're looking at all your documents, trying to figure out where to go from here, what are some quick things people need to know with 2010, maybe deductions or donations they need to make now? What do you think?
If you are one of the itemized taxpayers and you're looking for that extra deduction, you've got your real estate property taxes. Go pay those before the end of the year. You can take that as a deduction now. Make sure, if you go to your church, go somewhere, make sure you give a little extra at the end of the year. Take that deduction now rather than waiting until next year. That'll help lower your tax liability a little bit. Another thing to watch out for is if you were back in 2008 and you got that first-time homebuyer's credit, remember that this is the year that you start repaying that back.
Okay.
Now, if you got the homebuyer's credit in 9 or 10, you're fine. You don't have to pay that one back. But if you got it in 2008, that payback starts this year, and that's going to be something that a lot of people are going to forget about.
All right, Dan Jones, thank you for your time. We'll stay in touch with you as we get closer to April, and that is your Talk Back.